Welcome back. We got another episode of Let 'em Ride for you. Going to be going over the 3-game WNBA slate for Saturday. Going to break down and analyze each of those games and let you know which way I'm leaning as far as the points and the spread. And then any plays that I put in for these games myself will be down below in that pinned comment later on. So don't forget to check back in so you do not miss out on those. We are on a little mini 6-1 run here in the WNBA. And our Friday picks are still in the works right now. We took Fever team total over 82.5. That game went live about a half hour, 45 minutes ago. Fever looking good so far. They got 42 points for us with 6.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. So we just need them to hold on. Let's get 41 points there, Indiana. For our first game of the afternoon, we have the Los Angeles Sparks taking on the New York Liberty. The Liberty are laying 15 in this one. The over-under sitting at 167. Now we get another rematch battle here, as we see happen frequently in the 12-team WNBA. The Liberty beat the Sparks at home on Thursday by a score of 93-80. The Sparks have now lost 5 straight. They sit at 4-12 straight up, and they're 7-8-1 against the spread. The Liberty have now won 9 of their last 10. They are 13-3 straight up. They've only covered in 1 of their last 4, and they're 6-10 to the number on the year. I like the Liberty to win again outright, and I could easily see them covering this spread against a much weaker and a struggling Sparks team. But we just saw the Sparks cash a backdoor cover against these Liberty on Thursday. They came back from 17 down in the fourth to cover that plus 14. So I'm going to lean the Sparks plus the 15, but I like the Liberty to win this game outright. I don't see any way where the Sparks can upset New York here in New York. I'm slightly leaning over again in this one, but this is much more to do with the fact that I see New York lighting it up again offensively than it has anything to do with LA. The Sparks scored 80 against New York on Thursday, and they shot 50% from the field, but I expect to see some regression. And I'd probably isolate this and look at the Liberty team total over rather than the full game. I know we just got burned by New York for a first quarter team total over on Thursday night, but this is the first ranked offense. They are first in true shooting percentage. They are first in points per game. They are first in field goal percentage. So I like New York to get over that 90 points again here. Looking at a player prop, we have Derricka Hamby under 16.5 points. Now, after her red-hot start over her first 11 games of the season, where she averaged just over 20 points per game while shooting over 50% from the field and from three, Derricka in 5 starts since has averaged just under 12 points per game. She's shooting 39% from the floor and only 27% from deep. She's on a run. She's facing a Liberty defense in back-to-back games. This doesn't feel like a solid time for her to bounce back. So that under 16.5 points is looking pretty good. All right, and then in a matchup that could potentially be a preview of this year's WNBA Finals, we have the Dallas Wings taking on the Washington Mystics. I'm just playing, y'all. I'm sorry. The Wings are 2-point favorites in this one. The over-under is sitting at 160.5. No, but seriously, it's hard to get too excited about this one, as both these teams are just chilling at the bottom of the standings. The Mystics are last, 2-13 straight up. They are 8-6-1 to the number. The Wings have now lost 9 straight. They are 3-11 straight up, and they're only 6-8 against the spread. The Mystics are without Shakira Austin and Brittany Sykes still, and then Aaliyah Edwards is now questionable for them as well. And Dallas is still out a full roster's worth of players, but they did get Enrique back for their last game after she missed a game due to some Achilles soreness. She scored 31, she hit 7 threes, and the Wings still lost to a struggling Sky team by 11. There's just nobody else really for Dallas to go to, and it showed mightily in that one. I'm going to lean Washington with the points here. The Wings in their last 5 games have dropped from 8th to 11th in offensive rating with a net rating of negative 12.1. That is second to last in the W. They've lost their first 2 games now without Maddie Seagrass after she broke her finger. They've lost those by an average of 15 points. Washington, although they rank last in offensive rating, when you look over their last 5 games, they've jumped up to 5th or 7th in offensive rating, and they're 5th in defensive rating over that same time. So they've covered in 4 of those 5 as well. And with the injuries piling up on Dallas, the scoring options waning thin, Washington should be able to focus their attention on Enrique and make things difficult for her. So I don't really have a strong opinion on this one, but if I had to pull a trigger either way, I would lean Washington with the points at home. I don't have a strong opinion on the total here either, but I would slightly lean under. I worry Washington can score enough. They have the ability to knock in the 3. So I do worry that they could score enough to push this one over, but I struggle to see Dallas keeping up. I'm not sure how they're favorites in this one. I'm not sure what I'm missing. But all in all, this is just not the most attractive game, in my opinion. It's one that I'll probably just stay away from altogether. And for our nightcap, we have the Phoenix Mercury taking on the Minnesota Lynx. Minnesota is at home, 5.5-point favorites with an over-under 162.5. Now, this one should be an exciting game. Phoenix is coming into this one having won 4 of their last 5, and they've covered in 5 straight. The Lynx have won 5 in a row. They've covered in 3 of those 5. Now, Phoenix has obviously looked like a whole new ball club with the returns of Griner and Rebecca Allen. They are 4th in offensive and net ratings since they've come back. And then in this span, they are also 2nd in effective field goal percentage. They are 3rd in true shooting percentage. And then they're shooting 49% from the field. That's good for first in the W. Now, things have started to click in Phoenix. They've had big wins over the Lynx, over the Storm, over the Liberty. Now, these are all solid teams, but the common denominator in those games, Phoenix was at home. And this is where they are 6-2 straight up on the year. Now, on the road, the Mercury are just 2-5 straight up. Now, the Lynx own a top 3 offensive and defensive rating in the W. They are the only team that can make this claim. And over their last 5, they are first in defensive rating by a good bit, with 4 and 10-point differentials respectively, separating them from the 2nd and 3rd ranked teams. The Lynx hold a 15.2 net rating over their last 5. That's good for first in the W. The Lynx score the most points off turnovers in the league, while Phoenix is 8th in opponents' points off turnovers, and they are giving up the ball 16 times per game since the return of Griner and Allen. That's 3rd worst in the W. The Lynx are also 1st in getting out on the break for transition points, while the Mercury are 3rd to last in fast break defense. So I'm going to lean Minnesota laying the 5.5 at home, where they are 8-1 on the year. And then for the total, I'm leaning under. The Mercury are in a potential letdown spot here after such a huge win over the Liberty and just this run that they've been on since Griner and Allen have returned. The Lynx have a defense that ranks top 3 in almost every category, and they match up well with Phoenix. The Lynx play at the 2nd slowest pace in the league behind the Sun, and if I like them to win this game, I got to lean under, as they'll win on the back of that D, slowing down Phoenix and their perimeter shooting, as the Lynx are holding their opponents to just 27% from downtown. It's another area where they are first in the W. And that's going to wrap it up here for another episode of Let 'Em Ride. Thanks for tuning into the video today. I hope that you guys enjoyed the content and found it helpful or useful. And if you did, please don't forget to hit that like button. Please hit subscribe if you have not already. That way you don't miss out on any of the daily content that we are dropping. And please hit share if you can. It is greatly appreciated. And don't forget to check back into the pinned comment later on so you can see whatever plays that I choose to ride with in these games here. And you can see if you'd like to ride along with me, or maybe you think those picks are duds and you want to do the contrary and fade me. But whatever you choose to do, please don't forget to put those down in the comments, because I love to see where you guys are at, what your heads are thinking, and what you've cooked up for these games as well. Best of luck tonight. Bet responsibly, and I'll see you guys on the next one.